In others' eyes, it was just an egg, but in his eyes, it was a tool for a prison break. First, he dug a hole in the ceiling. Then he put fresh eggs into a bucket, tore up newspapers and threw them in, added a little water and stirred evenly. Finally, he added a large amount of lime and mixed it together, kneading it vigorously. In this way, a huge dough was made, with a color almost the same as the ceiling. He then pinched it into a square shape that could just block the hole. To be on the safe side, the man also covered it with a poster of a beautiful woman. This hole was actually used to store the soil. At this moment, the prison guard suddenly came for a surprise inspection. The companions downstairs wanted to go back to inform them, but they were afraid of being noticed by the sharp-eyed guard. He could only attract the other party by playing the guitar, but obviously this method was not very effective. They quickly came upstairs. Hearing the movement, the people in the room hurriedly wrapped the chiseled wall skin with a carpet, then swept the dust on the floor clean, and even the dust on their bodies could not be overlooked. They had to be spotless so that the guards wouldn't find anything. Obviously, they were not so easily fooled. The more normal they behaved, the more suspicious the prison guards became. Subsequently, these people began to conduct a carpet search of the room, not missing any corner. Even the posters on the wall were torn down to take a look. Just as this prison guard was about to inspect the poster at the hole, he was called away by the leading officer because they didn't find anything. Then they turned and left. The man and his companions also successfully escaped a disaster. However, the ceiling was not their escape route. The real route was in this corner of the wall. They were going to dig a tunnel out here. The reason for punching a hole in the ceiling was just to put the excavated soil on the upper floor. In order to successfully escape from the prison, they had to dig a tunnel 70 meters long, and such a large project would produce nearly 60 tons of soil. There was simply nowhere to store so much soil. So the clever man thought of the ceiling, which was a natural storage that could fully meet the needs. When everything was ready, the crowd began to act. They measured the distance at the corner of the wall with a ruler, then sawed it with a saw, then inserted a larger file into the gap to pry open the wall, and finally hollowed out all the bricks inside. But in this way, the prison guard was bound to find out when checking the room. In order to cover up this hole, the man and his companions found a huge container, and then used the previous method to make a big dough and put it into the container. When solidified, a fake wall was made. Putting it at the gap in the wall was just right. Then they used homemade white paint to smear the gaps.